Okay, so we'll start with our routine, the breathing exercises that we did last time. So we'll just start with that. So again, we'll just focus on the normal breathing. And when you're sitting, maybe you can do this. It's called a mudra. Like if you want to position your hand, this improves the concentration. So you can use, it's basically, your hand, right? So you just have your first finger, the tip of the first finger touching the thumb, and then you have to close the other finger, and then you sit it like this. You put it on your thigh, and then you can just focus on your breaths. That will also help you. Okay, we are going to do the last time what we did. We are just going to start with using this one hand, close the first two fingers, and just use the last two fingers and the thumb to switch from one side to another. Okay, just like this. Okay, we are going to breathe in and out through the right nostril. We just have to make sure we breathe nice and easy. Breathe in all the way and breathe out all the way. Observe your breath as you breathe in and out. If you need to take a deep breath, you can do so. We'll breathe for 3 more times. Okay, let's switch sides. Use your thumb to close the right nostril. Breathe in and out through the left nostril. Okay, now we are going to breathe in from the left side. Close the left side using our last two fingers and hold your breath. And then whenever you're ready, you can just release, breathe out from the right side. You breathe in again after you breathe out from the same side. Hold your breath. Switch the side. Use your thumb this time to close the right nostril and breathe out from the left side. Okay. Repeat this 5 times. 2 more times. Okay, good. Very good. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so last time we talked about what is the meaning of the meditation, and what is thought, and the effect of the thought, which is it creates vibration, and that vibration creates certain perception within us, and accordingly we perceive what's happening outside, and then we respond to it. So today, as we mentioned last time, our focus is going to be on understanding the type of thoughts that goes in our mind, because it's very important to observe. And somebody might say, it's very simple. I know what kind of thoughts, what is going on in my mind. So either somebody will say it's stressful, negative, or somebody will say it's positive. So so today we will understand that in a little bit deeper. But there's also they will understand that there are also much more categories of the thoughts, which we should become aware of. Okay, so as you can see this, the power, the house of thoughts, as we can see here. So we are aware of the positive thoughts and negative thoughts. So this house of thoughts is basically demonstrating with how we would like, our life to be. Nobody likes to live in the basement, in your house also. If you have that 3-story building for your house, then you would, 2-story building, then you will, and if you have a basement, you would not like to live in the basement forever. You might just go, you store things, you might go there and grab something, or you might just stay there when you have meet some sort of social gatherings or such. But you, on a day-to-day life, nobody would like to live in basement. Okay, so this is what is demonstrating the basement and the sub-basement. Basement is more of the waste thoughts. It's what the feeling, like how it goes in our mind also, with the feelings that is generated in our mind by thinking, the waste thoughts. And also there is a sub-basement, which is all relating to the negative thoughts, which is more feeling of darkness, suffocation, um, and kind of we feel like anxiety, worry, all those things, stress. That is kind of the zone that is it's covered in this category. So so in that sense, and so that's why we know we have to understand what are the waste thoughts. But we know positive thoughts, but there is something it's called as a pure thoughts that it's good to be aware of. So I will just going to briefly talk about this. um, so let's go to the more of we'll start with an ordinary thought. So ordinary thoughts are basically, it's called necessary thought. Necessary thoughts are, as you can see, it relates to our daily routine. Okay, it's just necessary things that the necessary thoughts are, like, it shouldn't make you feel good or bad. It's just what the things you're supposed to do, like going for work, or doing your day-to-day chores, taking shower, cooking, if you have kids, all the things that you have to do for the kids, and then some general things that we have to take care of. So those are the things, it should not, it doesn't affect the mind actually. Those are the thoughts. It doesn't make you feel good or bad. It's just what you're supposed to do. But there are unnecessary thoughts. Unnecessary thoughts are something which is not needed. Before we think negative, this is something that goes on in our mind. It's very important actually. We don't really pay attention to this, the way that's why we accumulate around 50 to 60,000 thoughts an average per day, because we kind of bypass this waste thoughts and just focusing on either positive and negative, just negative aspect, and that again, it because of focusing too much on negative, it creates more thoughts related to that. So as like attracts like. So but if we focus on the unnecessary thoughts, we can actually help ourselves to prevent negative thoughts. So these are some of the examples, some a lot of things we say, why is it happening? Just like current situation what we are going through, many people will be wondering, why is it happening to me? How can this happen? How long this will last? All those are more of like, it doesn't have a clear answer to it, basically, other than just it will create a lot of confusion in you. It just makes your mind wander, again creating more of a waste thoughts. Okay, which leads to more of the negative thinking. Okay, so these are what the, sorry, where is my, okay, so which leads to a lot of the negative thoughts, which is right here. Okay, so all the waste thoughts, if you stay in that zone, just like we have a traffic light, traffic signal, you have a green, yellow, and red. So you have a warning signal, which is the yellow sign. These are the waste thought that signifies that the warning sign. Okay, so if you're not aware of that yellow means to slow down, then you will, if you are just aware of green and red, then most likely you will run into accident and get yourself into trouble. So same thing, what's happening in the mind, we are not being aware of the yellow zone. So that's the reason we go to this, have a lot of the traffic, which is the accidents that happens, the clash with the thoughts of the other people, having negative thoughts. So this is very important. So negative thoughts is generated by having, we have some weakness within us, our desire, something that we want to happen certain way, and it's not happening, and it's the outside is not giving me that view, and I'm uncertain when those things will have be according to how I want. That creates a lot of worry, tension, and then I see a lot of things are going in the opposite direction to what I have expected. It creates a lot of, it's a feeling of maybe some anger also within me, that how can this happen? So all those things are, out of like attachment to my desires. The lust is like unnecessary desires that I'm carrying, or some sort of desires that is not really, is kind of needed at this point of time. So that those are the things that we call like five vices that we have within us. We say algae. We have these vices. These are the weaknesses that creates negative thoughts. The weakness that creates negative thought, which are triggered on basis of location, time, specific people, or our experiences from the past. It is generated. Okay, so here that's the anger, lust, greed, attachment, and ego. So I know this, there is so much in depth into this, but we will not go there. Just to make you aware that because of that, that is where the negativity is coming from. So I have to tackle my desires. Let's not hang on to what I want thing to happen outside. Let's just go with the flow. Sometimes just let go of the attachment for the time being, and then let's find something that you can focus on, which can really help you go towards the more neutral thoughts for the time being. If you can't think positive, that is, and we all have, in the last video we learned how it's in our choice, actually our choice to really we can decide what kind of thought I want to create, and accordingly you will be wearing, so it will create certain lens which how you see things around you. So if you are keep thinking negative, as in the video, last video it has mentioned, even if somebody is trying to talk something nice to you, or you're watching something nice on the TV, you will not like it, you will not enjoy it, because you are just your TV inside the mind here. The channel that you are stuck into, it's basically in the mind, it's all about negative. Okay, so unless you turn off that switch inside, you will not able to enjoy something outside. Okay, so that is something the main our main emphasis on. So and you will know the waste thoughts, it's more of like it will come in so fast within you. You will know that it will decrease your concentration, it will create confusion. It will be like you'll be keep thinking same thing again and again and again, and you are not able to accomplish your task. So you know that you are thinking waste thoughts. So all these things, just keep it in your mind, like how do I know when I have waste thoughts? It will create some anxiety in you. At that time you need to stop, just like what we learned last time. At that time you just need to stop. We have that our the right our SOS that we learned last time. We just need to focus on stop, observe, and steer. So stop, sit back, don't just allow yourself to get into stay into that zone for a long time, otherwise you will become negative. And once you become negative, your mind and intellect, it really drains out, and then you will not be able to come back up very easily. And then most of the time we all do wrong things when we do negative, and then we feel guilt about it. Oh, why I did it? And that guilt also, it takes long time to recover from that. So that way, we just have to make sure time to time, just set back, watch your mind, what's going on in the mind, watch the traffic in the mind, and then you just let the traffic go by for some time, and then you generate your own thought within yourself. And then because remember, unless you create a thought, you cannot generate an energy. So you can't just say, okay, things have to happen, everything right outside, then only I can have a positive thought. It's not. You are depending on something which is unpredictable, we don't even know about it. So why don't that is, but we, our original self is to have a choice, have a controlling power on ourselves. So it can only happen by creating a thought. Okay, so that's why, see, that's why we have a choice. As you dip, so shall what you saw, right? So if you don't even you're just like what we learned last time, the awareness. If you don't even have the right awareness, you cannot expect, if you're sowing the seed of a cactus, you cannot expect the fruit of mango. Okay, so that's where we have to understand. And then there's one more thing that I would like to cover is, it matters what you think. It actually matters what you think. Again, briefly, I will touch upon pure and positive thoughts real quick, because then I will talk about it. Sorry, I skipped on that. Okay, so pure versus positive thoughts. So we need to make sure. Remember, in the last video, we learned that we are the pure energy of original self is actually positive and pure. So it's just like the we are a very pure energy. And then what a thought is, basically it just gives a shape, it just gives the direction to that energy. So but if I constantly stay in that awareness that I'm a pure energy, which is a child of God, you can tell yourself a powerful spirit, then it will give you that kind of feeling that originally you're pure, you're deviating from, this is the goal for the mind, this is how you're supposed to be, and you're deviating. So if you have some aim for yourself, that this is who you are, thinking, remember meditation we learned last time, you need to reflect on something. If you don't have any reflection on yourself as who you should be, who you are as a child of God, you don't have that awareness constantly, then you will be deviated from what's happening. You get influenced by what's happening around you. So I would suggest that you take some time to really every morning just reflect on, just have just 1 minute before, and go with internally within you. You can close your eyes if you want to, and just focus on, just have a who are you, just remind yourself, who are you? I'm a very pure energy child of God, filled with lot of goodness within me, and have all the power to see positivity outside in any condition. So have talked to yourself in that regards for some time, visualizing yourself as an energy, pure energy. It will really give you a lot of power. Okay, so that is the difference. This is a pure thought that I'm creating. I'm not associating my thoughts with achieving anything, I'm not having any expectation. Like positive thoughts also, it has some expectations, just like, okay, I'm studying for the test, and then I expect that, I will get some good results because I work so hard for this. So that is also something, you have some kind of expectations to it. Okay. And sometimes you help someone, and say, that, oh, I don't want anything from you, I just did it from the bottom of my heart. And then if you ask for help from them when you need it, and they don't help you, and then you will say, I helped you last time, how can you not help me? So there is some sort of selfishness is there. Those are the positive thoughts. At the moment you feel it's all right, but then you still have some sort of expectations, out of it. Instead of just saying that I did what I have to do, I regardless if that person helps me or don't help me, then I would, it doesn't really matter to me. So you don't have any kind of thoughts of why, nobody helps me, why this person is not doing that for me. So those are called more of the positive thoughts, that kind of, in a way, some sort of the desire is, some sort of like, you have that expectation, which you don't know at that moment of time, but when something happens in your life, and that's where the time something it pops up right away, why, this is not doing. So at that time you don't know. So those are kind of the pure thoughts, are something that, there is no limitation. You do it everything, just no expectation at all. You did it because it's kind of your duty as a child of God, and this is the power you possess, this is the gift you received from God, and you're just doing from the bottom of your heart. So that's where kind of the difference between the positive and the pure thoughts comes. So pure thoughts are works like more like if you use the math, just like we have, you have -10, you can have, a -10 plus 11, you have plus 1, which is more of like a positive. But you will have more -10, you have the, plus 15, you get plus 5. So it has a lot of weightage. More you think pure thoughts, more it will give you a lot of power. It boosts up, it's like a booster. Okay, energy booster. So that's why pure thoughts are very good if we spend more time with ourselves, and then remind who we are and the power we possess, the gift we have, okay, as a spiritual energy. So one point, and then we'll watch a brief, short video, that it matters what we think. It doesn't just limit to ourselves. So whatever we think, actually, it travels. So it's a very beautiful experiment here. Is done by, a scientist, Dr. Masuda Emoto, and it's a very simple experiment, but it's giving very powerful message, that we will understand. But yeah, so one thing to remember, everything is energy, it travels. So whatever I'm thinking, first of all, is traveling within my body. And that is the reason, if you see, it affects your health. Many people who are very stressful, think negative over the time, they will get sick more often, you will see, or they will have some diseases or some sort of problems in the body more often compared to the people who remain neutral or positive. uh, they will be able to, they will face a lot of challenges. They will not have a lot of friends. They will be more angry person. If you have like a people with bad attitude, or they are somebody who has something inside and something outside, they are not honest. Those are the people, I mean, even though they think that, oh, I'm superficially, I'm being very nice, but inside, if you have a lot of dirt, still you will, the people senses that. So that we will learn that here. So that's why it's very important that I should not do show off, or I should not just pretend that, okay, I'm positive, and but inside I'm very negative. So we have to change from inside. Okay, same thing with the nature. Our vibration affects the nature as well. The whole world, actually, currently, if you all think negative right now, and be having that feeling of being scared, at this time, the feeling of fear, well, it's not just affecting me, it's traveling all over around me. The aura, the vibration, collective vibration is affecting all of us. Okay, so that is something very important to understand, which we will we'll understand that concept with this the video. So let me play this video. Okay, sorry. Sorry.
And I want to see if our thoughts can affect the world around us. You've probably heard people say that our thoughts shapes our reality, and it's this I want to put to the test. This experiment will show that thoughts are vibrations and have different frequencies, and thus affect our circumstances. The late researcher Dr. Masaru Emoto conducted a study lasting many years to see if human consciousness can affect the molecular structure of water. In his research, he exposed water to different words, pictures, and songs, and then froze the water to examine it with microscopic photography. The water exposed to positive speech and thoughts resulted in beautiful crystal formations, and the water exposed to negative speech and thoughts gave ugly crystal formations. Granted, his research has been criticized for both right and wrong reasons. Personally, I keep an open mind. The rice experiment I'm about to try, it's not a very scientific approach, obviously, and it doesn't really prove anything, but it's a very interesting experiment nonetheless, and it seems to be working every single time. Since rice absorbs water when you cook it, you can basically conduct the same research Dr. Masaru did. I approached the experiment by purchasing 3 brand new glass containers. I cooked some rice and added the exact same amount of rice in each container. And every day for about 2 months, I'd spend 60 seconds per container telling them either negative or positive things. The container marked love. I'd say nice things such as, "You're awesome," and "I love you." And to the container marked hate, I'd say horrible things such as, "You don't deserve to live," and "You make me sick," and "Go and kill yourself." And the container marked ignore, I'd do just that. It's been about 9 weeks now, and it's finally over. And I'm happy to tell you that it's a success. Alright? And this is what happened. Alright, so the container marked with love it's in quite good shape. It's a little yellow, but I'd probably eat it. Alright. And the container marked hate it's in bad shape, alright? This is quite disgusting. There's no way I would even touch this. The container marked ignore it's in better shape than the container marked hate, but it's still quite disgusting. It's actually quite surprising because I thought that the container marked ignore would be in the worst shape of all. But for some reason, it's not. You know, I've seen people doing this experiment, and the container marked ignore would always, in most cases, be the one in the worst shape. This experiment, it just proves to me that our thoughts is not just an interior force, but also an exterior force, which means that our thoughts gives out some kind of energy, or, vibrations when we think about something, and it goes outwards. Now, you might think that there's room for coincidence, but this works every time. If you want to try it yourself and narrow down your odds, try using 25 containers or even 50 containers. This works, and it shows that our thoughts literally shapes our life. It all starts in your mind.
Okay, so it kind of proves the point. And these are the original images from the original experiment that Dr. Masaru Emoto has done it. So we can see the water molecule that he measured, and that with when he labeled with the thought of thank you, how it's crystallized, versus the water molecule, which is when when we had they had negative thought. Okay, so this is, we can say, so imagine how much water we have in our body. So if we think a lot of negative and the waste thoughts, how we are damaging our own body, first of all. Okay, so just we need to think before we think negative. So think before you think. All right, so that ends our presentation. Just want to leave with a message that just like the fragrance of something physical automatically spreads everywhere, similarly the vibration of our thoughts also spreads everywhere. Okay, so I will end with that note. So thank you so much, Krista.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, have a good night.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Bye.